Hiya, true believers! Time for another Mark's Comic Haul, y'all. I got a couple of things here. Stopped by a local comic shop and picked up some cool bargain box stuff, and also a couple of nicer books that I just didn't have that I wanted to pick up. And then I've got a half price books run that I was pretty happy with as well. So without further ado, I'll get right into it. So here we go. This is from the local comic shop. This is Convergence Zero, the Ethan Van Sciver black and white variant. It's got as you can see, it's in black and white. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Good artwork on that. I like Ethan's covers. These are bargain box finds. I think these were 50 cents each. This is Deathstroke the Terminator Annual 1 from 1992. It's a Mike Zeck cover, if you can see that. Marv Wolfman did the script, and Phil Jimenez did the interior art. Kind of a cool book. Part of the Eclipso crossover. I love these Marvel Superheroes books. This is the Marvel Superheroes Spring Special. Now, I don't have the one with Squirrel Girl, which I really would like to get. But I've been picking up pretty much any of these that you see around. I always try to grab them if I see them. They've always got like a lot of cool stuff. Like, I mean, look at all the different characters making appearances in it, and usually pretty good artwork. This is a cool Ron Friends cover. This is Detective Comics number 725. This is a Brian Stelfreeze cover. Brian, of course, did a bunch of the Shadow of the Bat covers, but this is a nice sort of throwback to like the old Batman and the new Batman currently with Nightwing. Figured Tito would probably like that. I don't know if he's ever seen that. Cool book. Robin number 14. They did a whole series of these Batman like embossed covers. It was every one of the covers had Batman here in the middle, and I don't know if you can tell, but they're embossed. So like they're 3D basically. And there's a whole series of these, and I think Robin was one of the lower printed ones. So I think I have 3. I can't remember if there's 3 or 4 of those. I think I have 3 of the 4. This is a really cool Dan Brereton Legion 91 number 31. Dan Brereton cover with Lobo and Shazam. Golly, I gotta do something about that glare. I don't know how to fix that. Anyway, great cover. There we go. Maybe if I just hold it, see if I just hold it at an angle, like a little back towards me, it's not as bad. Anyway, very cool cover. And there was a couple other Lobo books. I always pick up anything with Lobo in it. This is Legion 01, 1999 Annual number 2 with Lobo. I think it's Barry Kitson did the artwork on that. Really cool book. Legion 92 number 38. This is another Lobo book. Just a cool, fun cover there. Lobo versus the Iceman. Final face-off. I pick up any of those Lobo books. Anything that has like a Lobo appearance. Daredevil number 241. I get a lot of these whenever I see them cheap. And I'm always surprised I see them cheap. This is the only issue that Todd McFarlane ever did artwork in Daredevil. It's a Mike Zeck cover, but Todd McFarlane interior. I may have actually showed one of these in another one of my haul videos. I can't remember, but I've been picking them up a lot lately. And I always see them in bargain boxes. I'm surprised that people aren't pricing them up. Anyway, if you're a McFarlane collector, it's a cool book to have. Fairest number 2. I think I also showed one of these in another haul video, but I got another one. Or I don't know. I don't remember if I did or not. God, I hope I'm not repeating myself. That would make me feel very bad. I don't think I showed this, no, I don't think I showed this. Ferris number 3, one of my favorite Adam Hughes covers. Just a really cool concept of a cover there. That's not even a Mylar bag. Why am I getting such a glare off of that? Jeez. This is Ferris number 143. This is not an Adam Hughes cover, but I'll pick up pretty much any Ferris book. Still a cool cover. Really cool concept. And that's really towards the end of the run. I think they went to 149, if I'm not mistaken. This is a cool what if book. A lot of these Marvel what if books, there's some cool stuff going on. This is what if the Punisher's family hadn't been killed. And this is a really awesome Mike Zeck cover. If you're like a Mike Zeck Punisher fan, a lot of people haven't seen this or they don't know about it. So it's just kind of a cool sort of early, well, I wouldn't say early because Punisher goes back to the 70s, but earlier for the popularity, when the character's popularity really started kicking in. And then this was the last of the bargain box finds, and I was really happy about this. I've had this book before, but I was happy to get it again. Secret Origins number 36 with Green Lantern and Poison Ivy. Now, what's interesting about this book, a lot of these Secret Origins books were really cool. They had good stories, great artwork, good creators working on them. This came out in January of 1989. The Poison Ivy story is written by Neil Gaiman with artwork by Mark Buckingham. Also out in January of 1989 was a little book called Sandman, which, as we all know, became very, very popular thanks to Neil Gaiman. And if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman's work and Mark Buckingham's work, this is just a cool book to have. It's the same month that Sandman came out. It was very overlooked because no one knew, you know, to look for this Neil Gaiman guy's stuff. So this is a book I would recommend you pick up, especially if you see it cheap. Secret Origins 36. You can usually find it in bargain boxes, but it's definitely worth grabbing. And I think it is at least noted in the guide that Neil Gaiman did the scripts on it. All right, so this is Half Price Books. Went to Half Price Books and grabbed a few different things. Some of this I just grabbed because I didn't have it. Some of it I grabbed because I've had it before and I wanted it again. Some of it I grabbed because I wanted an extra copy. And then some of it, I'll get to some of the really cool stuff towards the end. All right, so this is Chroma Tick number 1. I don't know if you guys are fans of The Tick. I used to collect this. When I first got into comics, The Tick was one of the comic books I really fell in love with. And the cool thing about this is the Tick comic books were all in black and white. Chroma Tick number 1 is basically The Tick number 1 cut in color. And they also put trading cards and a poster in this version. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. And you don't see these terribly often. I mean, the print run was definitely higher on these than the original Tick books, but it's still kind of a cool, fun book to have. I was surprised they had it in their boxes. There was a couple other Tick issues in there, but they weren't in very good shape. Action Comics number 677. I just picked it up because it's a really cool Superman hitting the crap out of... Supergirl hitting the crap out of Superman. A great Art T. Bear cover. That is how you say it, by the way. Art T. Bear, in case you're wondering. But, and Art just did the cover on it. He didn't do the actual interiors. So, but still, cool book. Superman number 52 by Kerry Gamble. One of my favorite Superman artists. I think Kerry's extremely underrated. He's actually a good buddy, but I always pick up any of his books. He lives here in Dallas, so we see each other quite a bit. This is a Dead Man number 1. This is actually a reprint book that DC did some of these reprints where they would get artists to do a new cover for it. And this reprints the Carmine Infantino work, the early work, plus Neil Adams' work. And they had Neil Adams do a new cover for the reprint. So these are kind of fun. They did this, and they also did Green Lantern, Green Arrow reprints that Neil Adams did new covers for. But it's a cheap book, and it's a great Neil Adams cover, so it's just kind of a fun book to have. Batman Beyond number 1 from the DC Rebirth. I just picked it up because I didn't already have it. And since it was half price, it's kind of a cool cover. Man, I'm really getting some glare on that. Anyway. Batman number 639, Matt Wagner cover. This is written by Judd Winnick, kind of from that whole era where the Red Hood storyline was going on. Just a great cover. I didn't have it already, so that's why I grabbed it. Trying to figure out the best possible angle to keep the glare. In my very first haul video, I believe, I showed you guys Jim Lee did some covers for Green Lantern to try to help boost sales. He did, I think, like 5 or 6 different covers. Maybe more, I don't remember, but this is just another one of those, just a really cool Green Lantern cover. This is Green Lantern number 151. Cool book. Can you see that? There you go. DC Comics presents Green Lantern #1. This is at a period where they were doing all these Julie Schwartz tribute books. Julie Schwartz was an editor at DC. And this is a Brian Boland cover that is actually done as an homage to a very classic Gil Kane Green Lantern cover, which was one of my favorite of the old Green Lantern covers, where Green Lantern is selling power rings to people. And Boland made this guy look like Julie Schwartz. So it's kind of a fun little tribute cover there. Those are cool books, by the way, those DC Comics presents. Adam Hughes did a couple covers for those. The Flash #220. This is from when Jeff Johns was writing The Flash. And it was, this book is all the rogues, the whole rogues gallery going up against the Flash. And Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash, makes a pretty significant appearance in here as well, along with the Golden Age Flash. So this is like a really cool book. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this issue. And a good cover too, because you got like everybody on that cover. Pretty fun. And then when you go to Half Price Books, for those of you that have Half Price Books, you'll notice that they have like the boxes you can just look through normally, and then they'll have these locked up sections that you have to ask them to unlock. And so I was kind of thumbing through those, and I saw these, and I said, can you please unlock the boxes, because I want to grab these. These were $3 each. This is Flash number 324, and this is from the storyline where the Flash supposedly killed Professor Zoom, and it led into the whole trial of the Flash story that they were doing, which kind of wrapped up this original Flash series. They basically ended the series after the trial of the Flash. So this was the first part of that big story that they did, where Flash kills Professor Zoom. 325, the coffin of Professor Zoom. These are all Carmine Infantino. Cool books. I love this cover. 326, the Flash shackled, because he's going to jail. 327, this is a great example of DC really stretching out a story. Okay, so this issue on the cover, it's like, what's the Justice League going to decide now that the Flash may have killed somebody? Are they going to let him stay or go? So you read the whole book, and on the last page, Superman saying there, okay, Flash, here's my decision. And then it just ends, and you got to go pick up the next issue. So it's like, you think you're going to see the decision in this issue, and you don't. You have to actually pick up the next issue to find out the answer. And then finally, Flash number 328. Hey, maybe he's not dead. What? Oh my God, spoiler alert. Anyway, cool book. Great sort of throwback to the classic DC covers. I love these books, and you see them from time to time, but you don't often see them in really good shape. These were all $3. The Flashes were all $3. And then last but not least, this was on my way out. I was just thumbing through, and I just happened to come across this. This is a really cool issue of Superman Annual number 3 from the Armageddon 2001 storyline. Now, what's awesome about this issue is that the story has Superman accidentally kills these soldiers on a submarine because he can't see through the lead walls. The sub sinks, and they die. So the government decides, well, we've got to bring down Superman now. And who do they send to do it? Batman, of course. So, and it's just an awesome story. Like a really cool kind of like alternate reality story. You've got Superman in a futuristic costume there and everything. Well, this is actually a third printing. Now, I knew they had second printed this book. I didn't know they had third printed this book. And since a lot of people are now starting to pick up some of the later printings of some of these DC books, you can tell right there it says Roman numeral 3. That's third printing. I didn't even realize there was a third printing of this. And, you got the silver ink background and everything. So I have to imagine this is not very common, because I've certainly never seen it, and I collect Superman books. So I was really happy to get this, just because, it's not even in perfect shape, but it's just a cool looking book. So that's it. That's it. Nothing really terribly fancy, but just some fun books and a few things I was very happy to pick up. So hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. And I want to send some shout outs to Aim High Comics. Started following him. Great stuff. picking up some really fun books. Seeking Near Mint, really good videos. Mr. Rigor Mortis, of course, Dr. Fonchilla, Spidey fan, awesome. Comic Hijinks, Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. You make me want to sing in my videos, which I might start doing. Why Not Art, of course. Open by Chance, a couple of new people I'm following. Open by Chance, J Punish 7, Watchmen's Comics, QB Comic Addict, Alex Comic Hoarder, All About Comics, SBT Killerwood, Gizmo 17, Comic Book Villain, Chinist, and Fred Hall Direct Edition. Thank you guys for doing what you do. You're all great and you're all wonderful, and I'm probably still leaving somebody out, and I apologize if I am. But I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and if you guys didn't see the mention in my last video, I've announced that Dallas Comic Show is coming back September 16th and 17th. We've already announced Joe Jusko and James O'Barr is coming back, and I think we're going to have some really cool guests. So if you guys can make it to Dallas Comic Show, it's dallascomicshow.com, and you can find out more about me, Mark Walters, at bigfanboy.com, and that's all I got. So everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you with my top 10 modern comics video that I'm way behind on making. That'll be next. Take care, guys.